The first of the range of Superman merchandise was his Supervan. Based on the ubiquitous Chevrolet van, this variant was painted in metallic silver, and the rear doors opened to reveal the Super Zone headquarters. Paper labels were applied to each side of the van, depicting Superman in his flying mode. Being a popular superhero, over 250,000 of this model were produced, under catalogue number 435. Variations on the van are restricted to 4-spoke or solid disc wheels, and the box types are all similar, with a different description appearing on the later issues. This item was released in 1979 and withdrawn in 1980, and is reasonably easy to obtain. The next Superman issue was number 260, the City of Metropolis police car. Based on Corgi's existing Buick police car, this model was painted in metallic blue with white roof and had 2 sets of roof lights fitted. A large City of Metropolis Police Department label graced the bonnet, and police transfers adorned the side of the car. The stand-up header card window box again has slight variations in the text, and although the model has not been seen with 4-spoke wheels, it is fairly safe to assume that it was made with these, as well as the more common disc type. With just on 250,000 produced, this model is not rare, but is quite hard to find as Superman memorabilia is very collectible. Again released in 1979, this item was withdrawn in 1981. Hard on the heels of the police car was the next Superman piece. The Daily Planet Jetcopter, number 929, was a remodeled James Bond Jet Ranger helicopter, painted red and white with white Daily Planet paper labels on either side. The model included the twin rocket-firing tubes beneath the cabin area. A plastic sprue of 10 rockets was contained in the base of the by now familiar stand-up card-header display box. No model variations have been discovered, but the box can have alternative text according to the country in which the model was sold and the date of manufacture. This was the third Superman release of 1979, and this item would only sell 137,000 pieces before withdrawal in 1980. No one could accuse the Corgi company of missing an opportunity to continue with a popular theme, and the fourth Superman item was the first totally new model in the range. The year again was 1979, and the new release was a flying machine called a Supermobile, catalogue number 265. This large model, out of scale with the other Superman items, was painted bright blue with red air intakes and silver engines at the rear. 2 silver side pods held red plastic clenched fists, which struck out alternately on pressing plated buttons either side of the rear end of the lower casting. Twin rocket launchers, operated by buttons underneath the cockpit area, were featured at the front of the nose, and Superman was seated at the controls. Superman labels were applied to the front and sides of the vehicle. 10 rockets on a plastic sprue were contained in the base of the window display box, along with a small printed leaflet describing the resetting of the rocket firing mechanism. The box graphics showed Superman in flight and had no known variations apart from minor text alterations. The model has no known variations and is very robust, with even play-worn models sporting all the parts they should have. Over 1/3 of these were produced before withdrawal in 1982, and the item is relatively easy to find. Superman gift set number 21 was issued in 1980 and withdrawn in 1982. The set contained the Supermobile, the Daily Planet Jetcopter, and the City of Metropolis police car. Box variations are unlikely, as only 27,000 of this set were produced, a very rare item. The first Spider-Man model released was the Spider-Van. Issued in 1979 as catalogue number 436, this dark blue vehicle was another version of the Chevrolet van. Opening rear doors revealed Spider-Man's lair, complete with computers and web designs. Also printed with web designs were the paper labels applied to either side of the vehicle, complete with a picture of Spider-Man himself. Although not seen, it is possible that both four-spoke and disc wheels were fitted to this model, with no other variations noted. The display box has the usual graphic header card, and box variations are limited to text alterations. Withdrawn in 1980 after nearly 200,000 models were produced, the item is not difficult to find. Not easy to find is the next Spider-Man model, catalogue number 261, Spiderbuggy and Green Goblin. Again released in 1978, Corgi sold nearly 250,000 pieces before withdrawal in 1981. Perhaps the play value of this model has reduced many to the junkyard, as it is a rare item today. The Jeep was painted in red and blue with Spider-Man in the driving seat, and a Spider-Man label was applied to the bonnet. The Green Goblin was caught in a polythene bag, printed to look like a spider's web, and was held on a crane-type device fitted to the rear of the vehicle. No variations have been noted on the model, but the figures can come in different shades of painted plastic. Not enough models could be obtained for this review to make comparisons, but the usual text alterations may have appeared on the window display box. The Spiderbike was released 1 month after the Spiderbuggy and was a modified bat bike. Catalogued as number 266, the machine was equipped with spiderweb rear fins and decorative labels on the fairing. The twin rocket launchers were again featured, and a sprue of 10 rockets was supplied. A plastic figure of Spider-Man was sat astride this large-scale device, and over 300,000 would be produced before the company's demise in 1983. Variations are numerous, and who knows what combinations were available. Wheels could be black or white, the fairing and seat could be black, dark blue or light blue, the windscreen could be clear or amber tinted, and the front forks and handlebars black or red. This, coupled to at least 3 box types, makes for a large number of possible variants. The stand-up card header window box is not shown, but the 2 later issues are. One is smaller than the other, and both types are indicative of the Corgi company's cost-cutting exercises towards the end of its life. The white-wheeled version is the most desirable and therefore the scarcest, but the later versions are easy to obtain. The last Spider-Man model produced was catalogue number 928, the Spidercopter. This fictitious half-spider, half-scorpion helicopter had rotor blades shaped like webs and sat on 8 red plastic legs. The main operating feature on this machine was a long red plastic tongue that shot out when released by its tail-mounted button. The button also operated an eye shutter mechanism that changed the white eyes to red whilst the tongue was flicking in and out. Spider-Man labels were affixed to either side of the main body, and 130,000 would be sold before the model's withdrawal in 1982. No variations have been noted on the model, and box differences were minor, and again concerned the small print. This is a fairly scarce, but not so desirable model. Not a new Spider model this time, but a set containing the Spiderbike, the Spiderbuggy, and the Spidercopter. Only 21,000 of this gift set 23 would be issued, and it is very rare today. No variations of model or box have been noted amongst the few sets seen. A sprue of 10 rockets for the Spiderbike was included, and simple instructions on how to operate the various features were printed on the reverse of the box. The American Marvel Comics spawned 3 Corgi models in 1979. The first of these was Captain America's Jetmobile, catalogue number 263. Based on a previous Corgi casting of a jet dragster, this fictitious model featured the captain seated at the controls of his red, white and blue vehicle. With no operating features, this model sold far more in America than in England. A total of just over 80,000 models were sold, and no variations have been noted. Withdrawn in 1981, this model is not as rare as the low sales figure suggests. The second model was released in the same month, and was called Captain Marvel's Porsche. Catalogue number 262 was another old Corgi casting, with new labels and a plastic figure of the comic hero at the wheel. Noted for its gold wheels and trim, the model was not popular, and sales of under 80,000 resulted in its withdrawal a year later. Compared with Captain America, the model is far scarcer and difficult to find, and no variations have been discovered. Last but not least came the Incredible Hulk, the third Marvel comic release in the same month of 1979. Yet again, a new use for an old Corgi casting. This one used the Mazda truck model as its base. The large green figure of our friend the Hulk was depicted breaking out of the new plastic cage moulding, and a large Hulk sticker was applied to the bonnet of the metallic gold vehicle. Apart from minor text differences on the box, the most important variation is the colour of the cage. In red or grey, it is the latter that is the scarcer and quite difficult to find. Withdrawn in 1982 following sales of over 1/3 the red cage model is common. In November 1979, Corgi introduced 4 models based on the popular TV series The Muppets. They were originally produced for Corgi in the Far East, but later production transferred to Great Britain. The models were 2030 Kermit, 2031 Fozzie, 2032 Miss Piggy, and 2033 Animal. Each character was sitting in his own special vehicle, and early issues were bubble packed. Later issues had a totally different colour box to normal Corgi models, and it is these we see here. Miss Piggy's dress can be red or pink, Fozzie's hooter can be silver or black, and Animal's wheels can be white or red with a yellow or black smokestack and a yellow or silver symbol. With no variations, it is Kermit that is the scarcest, closely followed by Miss Piggy. Animal and Fozzie are fairly common, and more of these must have been produced before they were all withdrawn in 1982. Chopper Squad was an Australian TV series set around a surf rescue service. Gift Set 35 contained a metallic blue Jeep with a Chopper Squad bonnet label, towing a similarly painted trailer carrying a red and white surf rescue boat. Rumoured to have been produced in yellow and white, this set's box graphics showed the true colours. The back of the box indicates the availability of number 927, the Chopper Squad helicopter, and this was issued at the same time. The helicopter was painted metallic blue and white, matching the box graphics. Sporting an operating winch with hook, the model had Surf Rescue and Chopper Squad labels. Also rumoured to have been produced in yellow and white, we could not produce any of this coloured Chopper Squad model for review. Definite rarities if they exist. No other variations have been discovered, and the box displayed here shows the sticker applied for foreign markets. Corgi withdrew them both in 1980 after reasonable sales, and they can be found with a little searching. Introduced in 1980 was another model based on an American TV series. A hugely popular show in Great Britain, the Buck Rogers Starfighter, catalogue number 647, was a model of his spaceship and sported retractable wings and twin-firing rockets. A sprue of 10 rockets were included, along with plastic figures of Wilma Deering and the little gold-plated robot Tweaky. A little and large set, catalogue number 1363, was produced in 1982 for the Woolworth Company. The addition of a free Corgi Junior of the same model saw the deletion of the figures, and this set is scarce. The original model sold over 350,000 items and is much easier to find. There are no important variations to model or box, and Corgi deleted Buck in 1983. The very last item that the original Corgi company produced that was TV related was the Magnum Ferrari. The model was released in 1983 as catalogue number 298. A nicely scaled model with an opening engine cover. The Ferrari 308 GTS had no other accessories and was tied to the series by box graphics only. Variations are limited to wheel type only, and here you can see both types. Withdrawn in 1983, the model is not difficult to locate. In 1971, Corgi obtained the license to produce models based on one of the most popular TV cartoon series of all time. Quickly reaching cult status, this TV show had many adults rushing home to see it, and Corgi responded quickly, producing a series of models based on the characters we all remember. The first model was issued in 1971 as catalogue number 807, Dougal's Magic Roundabout car. The yellow open-back Citroën was decorated with colourful labels and contained large plastic figures of Dougal, Dylan and Brian. Fitted with special red plastic wheels, the model captured the characters well, and over 250,000 would be produced before withdrawal in 1974. Originally packaged in the familiar yellow comics box, Corgi repacked the model in 1973 in the new type box and altered the description to read Dougal's car. Both models were issued with a separate sheet of paper decals, and both items are rare. Late in 1972, we saw the second Magic Roundabout model, catalogue number 859, Mr. McHenry's Trike. Riding a motorless three-wheel scooter, the straw-hatted character was towing a die-cast trailer which contained Zebedee beneath a yellow and red hinged cover. On turning a plastic knob at the rear, Zebedee would pop out of hiding and disappear again when the knob was turned further. Decorative labels were applied to both sides of the model, and the packaging included a blue nylon tow rope to pull the model along. Sales of 180,000 before withdrawal in 1974 does not reflect the scarcity of this model. Just before Christmas in 1972, Corgi released the remainder of the Magic Roundabout merchandise. Catalogue number 851, the Magic Roundabout train, was a large plastic model, featuring a red loco with blue die-cast chassis and wheels, highly decorative labels on the cabin boiler, and Mr. Rusty and Basil at the controls. Two red plastic carriages were coupled behind. The candy-striped roof passenger carriage carrying Rosalie and Paul. The guard's van containing Dougal the dog. The set came complete with a blue nylon tow rope for the train, which produced chuffing noises when pulled along. Blue plastic pistons connected to the wheels moved in and out realistically, and the brightly coloured packaging displayed the model in all its glory. Various cardboard and polystyrene packing held the loose characters in place, and the model is a rare find. Catalogue number 852 was the Magic Roundabout Carousel. The red and yellow model sat on a blue plastic base and was highly decorated with paper labels. It included 4 horses, which went round automatically unwinding the red plastic knob. The Swiss musical movement played the theme tune of the TV programme, and characters of Dylan, Paul, Rosalie, Florence and Basil were included. The mint and box model is possibly the rarest of all the roundabout items. Released separately were 8 box figures of the most well-known roundabout characters. Fixed on a blue plastic base, the models were covered by a clear perspex dome. Magic Roundabout labels and numbers were fixed to the platform. They were 860, Dougal the dog. 861, Florence, a girl. 862, Zebedee on a spring. 863, Mr. Rusty, the bearded fellow. 864, Brian the snail. 865, Basil the boy. 866, Ermintrude the cow. 868, Dylan the rabbit. Most of the figures are scarce, but Dougal is certainly the most common. Ermintrude, possibly the rarest. The most desirable, largest, and magical toy of them all was the Magic Roundabout playground. Corgi invested a huge amount of money in producing this delightful item, and it was given the catalogue number 853. The light blue plastic base was nearly 3 foot long and contained a yellow plastic track running around a perimeter, driven by turning the blue plastic handle. Pegs fitted to the system would drive all the vehicles in the series. Included on the base plate was a modified carousel that turned along with the track. The musical movement was separated from the model and fitted to the opposite end. It would still play the theme tune when wound up, and on additional mechanism operated the red plastic seesaw. 4 characters were included, as were coloured plastic trees, flowers and a park bench. These items could be fitted in various places around the playground. A box train, as described previously, was also contained in the large and superbly printed cardboard box, along with various plain packaging to protect the set before purchase. It is possible that this gigantic set was withdrawn from sale in 1974 after an unknown amount of sales. To find a mint and complete example is the ultimate aim of many collectors, and it is perhaps the most wondrous Corgi toy of all times. We hope you have enjoyed this video. The information stored within should increase your skills as a collector of film and TV related Corgi toys, whilst every effort has been made to ensure the reliability